March 20th regular meeting. We will now have the Pledge to Allegiance. Ms. Sharp, this is your guest.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If everybody will rise as Miss Ariana Rose of John Coleman Elementary and her mother and grandmother come to the podium and lead us in our pledge tonight.
I can do all.
Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength.
Thank you, Ariana. We will now have a moment of silence. Once again, I would like for you to please remember the family of Clay Morgan, Oakland Middle School teacher who passed away this week. A moment of silence. Thank you. Board, if you'll take a look at number 4, approval of the agenda. Do I have any questions or comments about the agenda? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? The agenda is approved. We'll now look at number 5, approval of the consent agenda. I'll give you a moment to flip through. Do I have any questions or comments on the regular agenda? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? The agenda is approved. We are now going to number 6, have public comment. I will be calling you up one at a time to the podium. And when you get here, I will talk to you about your time management so you'll know exactly where to look. Our first guest is Carrie Lambert. Hi. I don't know if you know that it's 3 minutes, and that little thing right there helps keep you on track.
Just a little taller.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
All right, good evening. I'm here tonight to voice some concerns I have about the direction that Rutherford County Schools is headed with some of the policies. Having a committee review materials within our school system sounds like a great idea on the surface. However, when said committee meets in secret, makes decisions in secret, and even their decisions and recommendations are kept secret, it really isn't a good look. For example, we don't even know if Rutherford County Schools is following the recommendations from that committee or not. And how are these decisions to restrict access to information, which is a constitutionally guaranteed right unless it meets very strict criteria, made? Is everyone on the committee educated in the intricacies of the law? Are they aware of the Supremacy Clause, which states federal law and the Constitution trumps local and state laws? Is everyone aware that the state law being quoted to restrict access to information for our students includes and, not or, and causes harm to minors? What evidence do you have that the materials being removed cause actual harm to minors? And what about the 18 books that were removed without even going through the committee? Who made that decision that those books violated the law, and what is the justification? I understand the arguments that RCS is making defending this process, that in their opinion it is technically legal, although it is questionable and probably won't stand up in court when we get sued. But does that make it right? Setting a precedent that allows a committee to operate in secret could have terrifying consequences in our future. While we may all trust and respect the current committee, What happens in a few years when other people are in control of this process? People that may have an agenda to harm our schools or discriminate against certain groups. Is this the precedent we really want to set? The other policy change I'm concerned about is the restriction of public comments. Do you really want to tell your constituents that their concerns and opinions are irrelevant? Recently, a father came before the board to ask you to allow his son to wear his feather at graduation. With the new policy restricting comments to agenda items only, he would not have been able to stand up and protect his son's rights. So I'm asking you to please respect your constituents, allow them the opportunity to speak before you when they feel it is necessary, and please stop infringing on our students' rights with no justification given to the public. There is a very high bar for restricting access to information, and if you feel that bar is reached, please tell us how. Because things done in secret are rarely right, hence the secrecy. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kevin Luhorn, is that right? Lawhorn, I'm sorry. It's a little bit hard to read. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I've been called worse. Yeah.
Lovely name. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. If my grandpa would say, if the law doesn't get you, the Satan's hordes will, or something like that. I'd say if God's law and His mercy and His grace and His love doesn't get you, the sound of His horn will. That's what. All right. Did they take off my 3 minutes?
He's going to turn the green light on for you.
All right.
Now your 3 minutes has started.
Caleb over there, you're going to turn the green light? All right.
No, he's already done it.
Okay. You got me all twisted around here. All right. You ready? Go. Hi. You guys remember August 21, 2017? What happened on that day?
I
Yes?
do.
We got some yeses.
Yes.
Do we have any no's? He knows. Okay. What happened with the sun? Anybody know?
Eclipse.
It was an eclipse. Okay. We're about 7 years from that day. God uses the number 7. This eclipse, or actually it would be 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days. This eclipse will be important for all kids, high school, to witness this, all the way down. And apparently it's not, it's on the table to talk about, maybe April 4th, I think the next meeting, I'm not sure. I'm praying that you guys allow us to, let the kids experience something that you or me have never seen before, because this eclipse will be not just historical, but educational, but biblical. We know that the sun turns black and the moon and blood red before the great day of the Lord. That's Acts 2:19 and Joel 2:30. But this eclipse, we'll see a comet that's called P12 Pons Brook, which is dubbed the Devil's Comet because there's horns coming off of it, a cryo gas on each side, Mount Everest times 3 that you'll see during the eclipse. Not to mention that there will be 7 planets that you'll get to see lined up. This eclipse is on Nisan 1, the day of 3 days of darkness that Pharaoh, that Egypt had. Nisan 1, biblically. This eclipse is in a time of our lives that we're seeing so much chaos in the world. God is warning this nation. Not just this nation, but all the nations. During Purim, which would be March 25th, there will be a lunar eclipse. That's March 23 and 24. 17 minutes. It's going from Jonah, Texas, Ninevehs throughout Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maine, New York, Virginia, Texas. And Jonah God spared Nineveh because Jonah, okay. Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
I got the gift of gab, but I didn't want to
I'm sorry. Thank you.
stop at 3 minutes. Maybe if you want to talk to me afterwards, I'll be.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Robert Brooks. Mr. Brooks, you know about the light.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I stand before you tonight with a fervent opposition to the proposal policy that seeks to limit parents and the public from addressing the board solely to agenda items during our school board meetings. The First Amendment of the Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievance. These rights are foundational to our democracy and ensure that individuals have the liberty to express their opinions, beliefs, and grievance without fear of government censorship or retribution. As a devoted member of our community and as a parent deeply invested in the education of our children, I firmly believe that open dialogue and transparency are the bedrock of effective governance. While I acknowledge the importance of maintaining order and efficiency, I implore each of you to carefully consider the profound implications of such a decision on our democratic values. By restricting public input solely to agenda items, we risk severely curtailing the ability of parents and community members to voice their concerns, share feedback, and engage in crucial discussions regarding to our schools and their students' education. Implementing such a policy would not only undermine the principle of democracy and accountability, but would also suppress public engagement and disenfranchise those eager to express their views on matters that may not be included on the agenda. Our community must have the opportunity to address the board on topics vital to the overall well-being and success of our schools. Just as a member of this esteemed board have the liberty to bring any motion to the floor during general discussion, that should be the same process for our public and for our parents. I implore the school board to reconsider this proposal and instead embrace policies that foster an open communication, inclusivity, and active engagement with our community by allowing for broader public input. The board can better fulfill its responsibilities to serve the best interests of all stakeholders. As Republicans, we have always championed the ideals of freedom of speech and expression, recognizing them as the cornerstones of a thriving democracy. Allowing parents and taxpayers to be able to have their voice and speak should be at the top of what we do.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Board.
Tammy Kelly.
The First Amendment guarantees us the right to express ideas and information without government restraints. So on a basic level and understanding, it means that people can express an opinion, even an unpopular or unsavory one, without the government's censorship. This is why the Tennessee House Bill 448 states that a governing body shall preserve a period of time for an opportunity for the public to comment on matters that are appropriate and fitting to items and agendas. This House bill doesn't say it is limited to only the items on the agenda. It was stated by one of our board members this past Monday evening in the policy meeting
that legal counsel confirmed that the bill does not limit public comments to only agenda items. This proposal that the school district is considering with restricting public speech is clearly an attempt to censor the public and what they can address and when. There is no transparency in this type of censorship, and it's a dangerous slope to go down. Anyone who is a constitutionalist and wants to protect our First Amendment rights would never support and vote yes and put restrictions on what topics the public can speak and when. The law stated in this House Bill 448 is protecting the right for citizens to speak, and it is not restricting speech, but creating a room for the First Amendment right. For me to be able to speak tonight at this meeting, I had to fill out a form and agree to a code of ethics and follow some rules, which makes this governing body in compliance with the Tennessee law that's stated in the House Bill 448. And so you are not breaking any laws tonight, and I am not breaking any laws tonight. So why now are there board members trying to put restrictions and limitations around public speaking? It is clearly an attempt to censor, and we have had enough of that. I encourage each one of you on the board to ask your legal counsel advisor this question. Does this law state that we have to limit public speaking to only agenda topics? Or can the public speak on any topic they choose and when they choose? I think you will find that our First Amendment rights are not restricted to the board's agenda as long as we follow the Code of Ethics and the House rules. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing the answers that you all get from the legal counsel on what is a have to and what is a choice regarding public speaking and restrictions. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone on the board like to make a comment?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to state that the Bible says, there talks about decency and order, and God is a God of order. The bill that was referenced, 448, is about order and decency. Something that was being left out is that the very first item says, a governing body shall for each public meeting reserve a period for public comment to provide the public with the opportunity to comment on matters that are germane to the items on the agenda for the meeting. It says very clearly on the items on the agenda for the meeting. This bill was crafted, sponsored, and authored by two of the most conservative Republicans, Sapicki and Lynn, on our state. When you go to the Capitol to speak, you are only able to talk about the items that are on the agenda. This is no different than what is currently happening even on county commissions. This is no different than what's happening in other school boards or councilman meetings across the state of Tennessee. This bill was approved and passed by a Republican governor. It was a bill that was passed unanimous by Republican majority. It does not state here that anyone's rights are being limited. Does not state here that your constitutional rights is limited. It brings order to the meeting. That's what this aim and goal is about. And it was passed by a conservative majority Republican, and as conservatives, we follow the rule of law.
Anyone else?
Ms. Bratton,
Mr. Tidwell?
none of you guys would have been allowed to speak tonight if this law had already been passed, because you all spoke on items that were not on the agenda. And whether or not I agree with some of the takes on some of this speaking doesn't matter. I agree with your right to speak it. And I think that is fair. I think that's how our democracy is set up, our republic is set up. What's missing in this is some of the context. So as some of us have sought legal counsel, the reason this was established is because there were certain districts, boards, communities that were not practicing this. Even ourselves, after the law went into effect, we opened up, we used to have public comment mainly on a special called meetings or board meeting. But now we open it up to work sessions, and you can speak at a policy committee, so it even improved our speaking initially. What's happening now, a year after this laws went into place, there's been 2 attempts to bring up this type of reform. One of them, there was a suggestion to the policy committee that was retracted before it made it, but it was bringing up a option to have public speaking or public comment before the meeting started. And then after that, of course, you wouldn't be televised, so your opinion will be shared with the board, but if those that are watching that might want to hear what you have to say, they wouldn't have had an option for that to be seen. So there was that. That was retracted, and now this is the newest thing. Now, to point this back directly straight to the law would be a misstep in the fact to say that that's the ceiling. That is the floor. Nobody here has violated. If nobody is going to be restricted from speaking on items according to the agenda. So I don't know what order is changing, since the only thing that becomes of this is more restriction. If you would like to speak on any manner, as long as you're following a code of conduct of what you're commenting on, you should have that right to do so. I myself am sitting in this seat because I came and spoke at a board meeting where I was speaking on an item that was not on the agenda. I am for individuals' right to speak. What other districts do, what city does, what city council does, what county commissions, what other school districts do, makes no difference. I am sitting as a board member on Rutherford County Schools, not Rutherford City Schools, not Rutherford City Council. We are Rutherford County Schools. With that being said, I will unequivocally not support this, and I urge the rest of the members to do the same.
Thank you. All right, we will continue. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I looked at you. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Honor order. I can pretty much echo everything Mr. Tidwell said. My biggest concern here, many of you know that part of the reason in me running for the board was, as a parent, I couldn't get my voice heard in a district at the time that I felt was very much just honoring and backing itself and not listening to parents. It was a huge challenge and a huge struggle for me. This is a dangerous thing for people to be supporting, in my opinion. If you don't have things to hide, then you don't hide them. So what this change in policy would effectively do is give all of the power to the district on whether or not you are allowed to come speak about something publicly, which to me looks like we have things that do not want to be aired out publicly. I am not currently aware of anything that doesn't want to be aired out publicly, but I can say that the optics of changing this policy can have the impact of making it look like something it's not meant to be. I was elected by the people of Rutherford County to serve them. It is my job to sit here and listen to their concerns and issues. And at the end of the day, I will support that all day long. I will not support restricting what they are or aren't allowed to speak to us about.
Thank you. Do you want, Ms. Shaw?
Yes, thank you. I think I stated my position Monday night at the policy meeting, but I did a quick cursor today to our website, and my phone number is the only phone number that's listed on our website. There is no email address that I can find, although I know who to contact to submit an email to speak today. The information is not out there. Clearly, there's been an oversight somewhere, but we cannot restrict our taxpayers who pay our salary, who pay for this desk, who pay for the buildings that our kids sit in. We cannot restrict their rights. They pay every single bit of this. I'll go a step further. When we restricted it just to the county, I think that's wrong. This body takes federal funds, we take state funds, and we take local funds. To me, anybody who lives in the state of Tennessee should be able to come and address this body. That's why we're elected, and that's why we're here, to stand in the gap when things don't happen in the process, just like Mr. Silver Eagle last week. We cannot allow this to stand. We cannot restrict. This is not a time that we need to be restricting comment. We don't agree with it. People tear me up on Facebook all the time over the Eagle outfit that I wore 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And they got very personal about my anatomy and my body. But those people still have the right to say that.
Thank you. Thank you. We will continue. Dr. Poole. Read that.
Yes, I will. So next we have Dr. Poole, who is our secondary coordinator from Williamson County, but she's been with us since January 3rd, 4th, 5th. I knew it was somewhere around there. And they just had the awesome experience, and many of us have gone before to scope with TSBA. That is probably one of my favorite things that I got to do in my time as director of schools. And unfortunately, we had the safety train that day, so I wasn't able to go. So, Dr. Poole, I'll turn it over to you because I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Oh my gosh, we did. Now, we had to be on a bus in the rain at 6:30 on the morning of March 5th, and I really, going to be honest, would rather have ridden up with Claire and Francis, thank you. But I was so glad that I didn't. Not only did we need a chaperone on the bus, but I would not have gotten to know some of our students like Karsten Bradley. Karsten, I can't wait for you to meet her in a moment. She's such a great representative of the Rutherford County school system. But for those of you who are not aware of SCOPE, it's the Student Congress on Policies in Education. And we had 22 students selected by our school administration and guidance. And when they arrive, they are divided into 8 groups. Karsten will share with you what her group was. And then they spend the day debating topics that are relevant to them. They have mock school board meetings, probably not as interesting as some of our meetings, and then at the end of the day, they debate those topics. The 4 topics this year were required internships for graduation, cell phone use in schools, a 4-day school week, and AI used in schools. So it was very, very interesting, and I can assure you we were represented very well that day. Karsten?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Karsten Bradley. I attend Rutherford County Virtual School. I'm a junior there, and I am 16 years old. And as you heard, I was selected to attend this SCOPE conference. I attended in my sophomore year, and it was an incredible experience. When we got there, we were separated into 8 groups. My group was called Group 3. We discussed AI usage in schools. We got very deep into detail about how Google was an AI, about ChatGPT, about what should and should not be used, and it was an incredible debate. The woman, or the lady who was representing us in our debate, she did an incredible job. She also won. She won the debate, so that was incredible. A little bit, as you know, it was raining, as you can tell probably from my picture, and the hair was incredible. It was an incredible experience for me because a little bit about me, I don't necessarily want to go into education for my career. I want to work in fashion, but working with, working with groups and working with people is necessary in any career choice that you're going towards, and, attending this conference, it helped me with learning how to talk to people, learning how to deal with people, and it was an incredible experience. So I just want to extend my thanks to the school board meeting for sponsoring Rutherford County students to go. That's everything.
I was going to say, I think we have some teachers here. Y'all stand up. These are some teachers from Rutherford Virtual School. Thank you for coming to support this lovely young lady. Anybody have anything they want to say?
Ms. Bratton? I just want to say that attending SCOPE this year as a group leader was exceptionally fun. I got to spend a whole day with the seniors in 12th grade, and I enjoy debating, so I was able to help them prepare and facilitate a debate that was on the con side, because got the pro and the con. And my debate was the usage of cell phones in the classrooms. And I was on the con side, and our team won. So that was really fun and exhilarating to watch and be a part of that. And we have amazing, amazing young men and women who are so bright, so smart, so articulate, who can put two sentences together better than I can, who can state their points amazingly well. And it was just so proud to see our students up there and doing a wonderful, wonderful job. So any board member that has not participated in SCOPE, I will highly recommend that you join and do that next year. This is my second year doing that, so that's exciting.
Madam Chairwoman.
Yes.
To echo what she
Yes,
said.
ma'am.
It was wonderful. And I got to step in for Jimmy, for
Yes, thank
Dr.
you.
Sullivan.
Thank you.
And I had never done anything like this, but I had group 12. They were all juniors, and they had to debate the con side of a 4-day week. And they won their debate as well. So it was a lot of fun. The weather was lousy, but it was a lot of fun. And I'm just so glad that you got to come, and I look forward to participating again.
It's great. Yes, sir?
So I want to thank both of you for doing it, because you want to talk about a scary position. I was stuck between either making Dr. Grissom mad or Ms. Bratton mad, and I didn't know which one to make mad. I didn't know which one was
See
more
which
dangerous.
one he chose.
And so I chose, yes, Ms. Bratton asked me to be at safety, so I was at safety. So.
Yes, and I appreciate it. I also want to welcome Karen Dodd. Karen, would you stand up, darling? Karen is a member of the Murfreesboro City School Board, so we want to welcome her to our... Right. And she's also a teacher at the virtual school, so... She was also your teacher?
Ninth grade. Yes. Yes. She was my teacher, too.
She taught you.
Yep. For once, it's reversed.
For once, they're not saying, Ms. Bratton, did you teach that child? Yes, and they're 60 years old. Let's not talk about it. Thank you so much. Rutherford Proud.
Dr. Prince. All right, so this is the Desmos Math Art winner. So Rutherford County Schools recently held the Desmos Math Art Contest. Was this the second annual, or was it third? Third annual. Top students and the top teacher being recognized tonight, along with a presentation showing their winning entries. And the first time we looked at this, I was like, what? When they came to me when I was over instruction, like, what are we doing? But it has taken off and grown every year. So all yours, Dr. Prince.
See tonight is all math equations. Students put thousands and thousands of math equations into this. It's really an online calculator, and they create some beautiful artwork. So we're here to recognize them tonight. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Redstone Federal Credit Union and MTSU, for their continued support. And with that, we'll go ahead and get into it. So these folks here tonight, some of them are here, some of them couldn't be here, but they learned math. They learned the Desmos calculator, which is on the state test and ACT and all that stuff, and was able to combine math and their creativity and art. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. We have a lower division, which is Algebra 1 and Geometry, and our first place winner there is Mr. Ong Nai. And this is his work there, and basically it's got some race cars there. You can see the fans jumping up and down. So, Ong, come on up. I spent a lot of hours on that one, didn't you? Yeah. A lot of work goes into that, especially the animation that takes place. So, thanks so much. Congratulations. And then we'll hop to the Algebra 2 and above division. And we've got our 6th, 5th, and 4th place winners there, which we were not going to recognize tonight, but we wanted to show their work. As you can see, a lot of them made animations and different things happen. All of that is math happening in the background there. Again, thousands of rows of math that takes place. You got Tetris, you got a spiral animation at the top left, and then you got a gumball machine as well. From we got Blackman as well as Holloway involved there. All right, and then in third place, from Central Magnet School, Aaliyah Tomashuk, who created this, she called it a Viking sunset, which is very detailed, had a lot of work going on in there, just some wonderful math that she used as well, and she could not be here tonight to accept her award. And then in second place, we have Mackenzie Young from the virtual school, and she submitted one last year, which was, it was black and white and didn't have any movement to it. This, she grew a lot in the past year and created this. I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many hours she spent on this. And so while she couldn't be here tonight, we have got Amy Penny, her teacher, who is here to accept her award.
Yes.
And then in first place, and he is so talented in many things, he is on a band, I think, competition tonight with Stewart's Creek High School. But this is Colin Sutherland and his work. It's a game. He created a game. It's multiple layers of mathematics screens on top of screens, and you can play through and see if you can get it in the hole, and when you do, yay, it pops up. So lots of work went into this. I can't tell you how many hours she spent on that. So we're going to congratulate Colin tonight, even though he's not here, because he also gets a $500 scholarship to MTSU, which he won last year as well. So now he's got $1,000 to MTSU. So congratulations to him. And then last but not least, we have a teacher competition as well. And I'm going to go ahead and recognize first place first, and then we'll get to second. I'll tell you why in a minute. But is Jonathan Anderson from Stewart's Creek High School, who created this game as well, which takes into consideration the initial velocity and angle, and you play this game and you try to get it into the target, and as you can see, I'm making this video and I could not get it in the target until the very end, but it's a pretty challenging game, but you see all the artwork in the back as well. All of that is math equations that took place there. So congratulations to Jonathan. Come on. And then second place is actually Morgan Anderson, Jonathan's wife. And she actually submitted this in secrecy. She did not tell Jonathan's like the guru, right? Knows he's going to win, but his wife, Morgan, secretly submitted one. And this is actually a picture of tonight, right? You got Jonathan in first place, Morgan in second. Jonathan's in Stewart's Creek clothes, I guess, if you will. Morgan's in Blackman clothes. And then we don't really have a third place. So congratulations to Morgan on a great picture of tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kyle. Number 9, instruction.
All right, so we covered number 1. That's just for information for the board about a grant Roy Waldron will apply for. If they receive it, that'll come back for the board for acceptance. So number 2 is PBL training for CTE teachers. CTE is requesting to spend a portion of the Innovative Schools Model Grant funds on project-based learning training through PBL Works. PBL Works is an organization that provides gold standard PBL training to districts across the country. 70 middle school and high school teachers will receive 4 days of intensive training. At the conclusion, they'll have a complete PBL unit to implement in the fall semester. In addition to the training, teachers will have access to a total of 40 hours of one-on-one consultation. Administrators will have access to 2 hours of training to help them support teachers implementing PBL in the classroom. This training will support Innovative Schools Model initiatives as well as initiatives within our industry partners and Rutherford Works. Recommended motion to approve the PBL Works contract for Rutherford County Schools is presented.
Thank you. Do I have any questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? Motion passes. Human Resources.
We have our Advantage XPO renewal agreement. Rutherford County Schools currently contracts with Advantage XPO for substitute teacher services. Advantage XPO will maintain their current contract and the bill rate will increase by 30 cents per substitute daily obtained. This increase is due to an increase in Tennessee background checks and an increase in the Smart Find software profile rates for the 24-25 school year. Recommended motion is to approve the renewal of the Advantage XPO contract for substitute teacher services for the 24-25 school year as presented.
Thank you. Anyone have a question or a comment? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? Motion passes. Legal.
So we have tab 4. First one, charges against tenured teacher for suspension greater than 3 days. Charges have been brought against Emily Romine, a tenured teacher, seeking suspension of 15 days. Under state law, these charges must first be brought before the board. The board's duty when charges are brought against a tenured teacher is to determine if the charges are proven to be true. Is the alleged conduct of such a nature as to warrant suspension greater than 3 days? If the board determines that the charges, if proven true, do warrant suspension greater than 3 days, the teacher will be given notice of the determination and rights under state law to a hearing before an impartial hearing officer. After the determination by the hearing officer, either side dissatisfied with the hearing officer's ruling may appeal the decision to the Board of Education. And the board has two options. A, move to find the charges, if proven true, would warrant suspension greater than 3 days. Or B, motion to find that the charges do not warrant suspension greater than 3 days. Recommended approval is motion to approve one of the items above in line with one of the options as presented.
Questions? Comments? I'll entertain a motion. Be sure to say which option you are making the motion on, please.
Move to approve option A.
Second.
Thank you. Option A, which is moved to find that the charges, if proven true, would warrant suspension greater than 3 days. Did you second that?
I did.
Sharp, thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Do I have anyone wishing to abstain? Option A has passed. Number 2.
Out-of-county transfer student, so this is the first. The board has been requested to admit a transfer student from another school system under discipline. The student was expelled for assault of a student. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admissions of any student except those in state custody when a student transfers from another school system while under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendation is to deny admission, but the board can admit or deny the admission of this out-of-county transfer student as presented.
I'm sure any questions you had, you directed to Ms. Ridley, so I will entertain a motion.
Move to deny.
Second.
Move to deny. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? We will deny admission. The next one.
All right, we have out-of-county transfer student number 2. The board's been requested to admit a transfer student from another school system under discipline. The student was expelled for 1 year for possession of 5 boxes of vapes. According to policy 6.318, the board may deny admissions of any student except those in state custody when student transfers from another school system while under suspension or expulsion. Director of Schools' recommendation is to deny. The recommended motion is to admit or deny the admission of this out-of-county transfer student as presented.
I'll entertain a motion.
I make
to
a motion
deny.
to deny.
Okay, wait. I've got 3. So
Move to deny.
Move to deny, and I need a second. Second, thank you very much. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? We have denied admission. Engineering and construction.
First, we have Oakland Middle School request. Principal Brad Decker is requested to purchase an 8x16 storage building to be utilized by the respective soccer teams. The cost for the building is $6,300, and the funding will be from the school's soccer field account. The funds are currently available, and Engineering Construction has reviewed the request and recommends approval. Recommended motion is to approve the request for an 8x16 storage building for Oakland Middle School as presented.
Questions? Comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? Motion passes. Number 2.
Number 2, Walter Hill Elementary request. Principal Laura Heath has requested to construct an outdoor classroom amphitheater, provide a space for learning and connection geared towards STEAM. This project is in conjunction with the Katie Woody Foundation and Republic Services. The anticipated cost is $150,000 and is being completely covered by donations and grants. The project design is by Klein Sweeney and Associates, and they are the architects who designed the Public Safety Center being built adjacent to the school. The structure is being constructed by American Constructors, also associated with the Public Safety Center. Engineering Construction has reviewed the request and recommends approval. The request is at no cost to the board. Recommended motions to approve the outdoor classroom amphitheater for Walter Hill Elementary as presented.
Have any questions or comments?
I've got one.
Yes, sir.
If you haven't been to Walter Hill recently, I was there today observing, and where that public safety building, I knew it was close. I had no idea it was that close to the building. And so we will have to have some conversations about when they turn sirens on during testing. So, I mean, it is right up against some of those classrooms. So there's definitely more concerns than I realized by seeing it close. But I'm sure we can get that done. But this will be out there as well.
Have some constructive conversations, I hope.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Anyone wishing to abstain? Motion passes. Insurance,
No new updates.
no updates, okay. Financial report,
Nothing new.
nothing new. Director's update,
Very quickly, state report card comes out on Tuesday, March 26th. It will have school letter grades and other items there that we tested on last April, almost 11 months ago. One thing I do, and I did not tell Dr. Martin or Mr. Runyon this yet, so I've talked to Health and Education. They are going to take us off of the agenda since we have no items. So we have no items for Health and Education on Tuesday, so there's no reason for Education to be there. So congratulations, guys.
has that ever happened?
It used to happen a lot, but you used to only present budget amendments to Health and Education, and now they want a monthly update.
Okay.
And so had to get special permission since we were on spring break.
All right. Anything else? All right. And Ms. Rosales, you probably have a little report for us.
Yes, so there's several things to share. One, actually all three bills that Robert Stevens is carrying for us. One is the removal of the testing for adequate growth before the start of summer school has been moved out of the Education Committee, so it's starting to move its way up, so it more than likely will be seen and voted by the full commission, so that's good news for us. Secondly, the bill for the change to adding a stiffer penalty for students that make a bomb threat or just anything that has to do with shooting schools is also moved out of committee and is into the committee for the calendar for the judicial system. So that is more than likely going to be seen at the full commission as well. And then the bill for the substitute teacher for safety training, mandatory safety training for substitute teachers was moved out of K through 12 subcommittee and it's on the calendar for Education Committee. So it's more than likely going to be seen in the full commission before it's over, and I was able to speak on that. So that was really exciting. The other two bills that Mike Sparks presented, which I'm really grateful and very thankful that he took that on. We hit a little bit of a hurdle. I knew that it was going to be a huge ask, but you have to try, even if it's not going to make it. The bill was twofold. One, it was going to make a change in the A through F letter grade calculation of how they're going to count for certain special populations, and in this case, it was looking into the ESL population. As everyone knows, in Rutherford County, we've seen a huge growth in that area. In this school year alone, we've seen over 1,000 new students since the start of the year, and more than half of them have been ESL. So the A through F letter grade was, with the accountability model, what it was essentially what we were asking the members of the body to do was to make exemptions of who to calculate and not, and who not to calculate and count. So on the side of accountability, we were asking for the students that are in TISA tiers 1 through 3, which is your ESL, not to be counted, but to be counted fully on the growth side. And that was just to help balance out and have an even playing field for those schools that have more than 50% or greater of students that are in the ESL population. The second thing that we had asked was to make changes to the funding for the TISA model. That was to help bring back the component that was used in the old funding model, the BEP. It was made up of 46 components, and one of them was a capital overlay. In the capital overlay, what was beneficial was that it gave funding to districts to use towards capital projects, so it had to be earmarked for those type of expenditures. But there were some restrictions to that because you can only use it for maintenance, buying a roof, or things of that nature. But what we were asking was to give the districts full reign of what to use it, as long as it was earmarked towards a capital spending project. So it could be anything from buying land, using money for building a school, for renovations, etc. Well, unfortunately, that did not make its way through because of the fiscal note, which I kind of had a hunch, but in the pitch that I had requested that if the fiscal note was greater by a certain dollar amount, to make the change to use the percentage of ADM in growth, and those are the counties that are growing the fastest, which we are one of them, at the percentage of 10% of higher, and you were looking at 10 counties at that point. But the good news is that I had a conversation with the Department of Education, and they have agreed to come down to the district to talk about the concern that we're having and seeing with our ESO population. So that's good news. So I'm working towards getting that meeting locked. And then the capital spending, that is not something that we're giving up. We're going to make changes to it and then bring it back in the next legislative session. So that is my update for right now.
I feel very updated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. General discussion. Yes, ma'am.
Tammy, you can go.
Go ahead. I just want to say, Madam Chair, we have settled on a name, we have settled on a mascot, and we've got colors to go, but we'll have it for you by the agenda.
Thank you so much. We will be announcing, those of you who have been head of the committees that have worked so hard on naming our 3 schools and coming up with mascots, and I mean, it's no easy job. It sounds kind of easy, but it's not easy. And I'm going to have you report out at our April 4th meeting and tell everybody the big surprises, okay?
Everyone's
okay?
very excited.
All right. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And thank you, Ms. Sharp, for saying that. We also have settled on a name, settled on a mascot, and settled on colors. So I'm excited to bring that forward at that meeting. I just wanted to take this opportunity, and I'm going to be taking this opportunity during general discussion to remind people and let them know what an honor it was that day in August in 2020 when I found out I won my race and I was going to get to represent not only Zone 5, but this school board. I take a big privilege and honor in being the voice, because that wasn't always the case in my zone. And I'm sorry to find out my number's not on there, because I want my number on there. My number is 615-351-2262. And anybody, please, I honor and pride myself on being absolutely accessible. People call me, I'm in the grocery store, I pick it up. Because I know most people don't pick up the phone because they don't know who it is. I'm not that person. I know it could be a constituent. It could be someone that needs me. So I just want to let you know that if you have any problems or anything you want to bring to me, please, you're not burdening me. Come to me, bring it to me, and then I can put it on the agenda, and you're welcome to come and speak about whatever you need to speak about. But I'm here for you. It's the greatest day of my life, the day I won my race, and I'm excited to continue the journey for the next 4 years.
Thank you. I wanted to just make a little announcement about what I did today. I got to go to Central Magnet. I have a young lady who had asked me to be her mentor for her senior thesis. Now, I'm going to say I'm an English major. That child could write circles around it. I read her thesis, and she defended it today. Those of us who have advanced degrees are going, really? Really? This 17-year-old? But it was a delightful experience, and I want to tell any of you, if you're asked to be a mentor for a senior thesis, take it on. It's fun, it's great to see them, and it's just so wonderful to see the things that our young people are out there doing right now. So I really, really did enjoy it. My little girl was Adeline Perriman. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I'll send Garen your way next year.
I would love to do that for him. Isn't he? No, he's a junior. Oh, he'll be a senior next year. I didn't write papers like that till I was like, I was getting my third degree there. It's amazing.
Glad it wasn't me.
But you have a doctorate. You had to have written something.
I don't know.
Anyone else?
Ms. Bratton?
Yes.
Thank you. Yesterday, the board received copies of the curriculum from the SROs, and this is a curriculum that was written by one of our SROs, Carrie Nelson, and this has been in our county since 2010. So with that, I will make a motion to move and adopt and approve the curriculum from the SROs.
Okay, do I have a
Second.
All right, is there any discussion?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Sharp.
We just got it yesterday.
Yes.
And I got a refrigerator that's going out, and I'm sure everybody else had other things that were going on today. I have not had time to review it, so I request that it be moved to the April meeting.
Okay, wait, we have to vote on this.
Okay. Just saying, we just got it last night.
I also have not had time. I actually have 2 sick children at home right now, so I have not had time to look at that either. And as I stated at the policy meeting, I don't want to vote for something I haven't looked at.
What do you want to do?
I want to move forward because everyone
fine.
got this and we had time to look at it. I'm sorry if you didn't have time, but we did get it. And the question was, we hadn't gotten the curriculum, and we did get the curriculum.
Okay,
So I
that
wanna
will be
move
just
forward.
fine. You made the motion and it was seconded. We will move forward. We will have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Sharp?
No.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mrs. Rosales?
Yes.
Mrs. Darby?
No.
Mr. Tidwell?
No.
Mrs. Maxwell?
Yes.
Mrs. Bratton?
Yes.
That was 3
Motion
noes.
passes. Thank you. Anyone else have general discussion? Ms. Darby? Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Start saying,
Second.
wait, you're falling down on your job there. Second. We are adjourned.